Okay, now that we've seen the planning phase and what we want to do there, and in the design phase, let me give you a word of caution over here. Now, some of us would be from certain industries where some of the ideas that we will suggest today may not be applied as is. Now, that is not a challenge. I do not say that in the manufacturing industry you cannot be innovative, or you can only be innovative in the IT industry, or you can only be innovative in the, say, the media industry. Nothing of that sort. But as such, you cannot pick these ideas up and expect the same kind of results that you would get in different kind of organizations. Now, having looked at industries, let's also look at something. I'm just using this example. Uh, this is a white paper or a research paper published by HBR. It's called Capitalizing on Innovation. It's focusing on Japan. Japan being an area of interest to me, because I do conduct other sessions and workshops in which I pick up a lot of practices from the Japanese industry. Now, very clearly what they are mentioning is that the Japanese hierarchical, vertical integrated and manufacturing driven culture doesn't necessarily promote innovation. And they've given a lot of examples over here that they're talking about the software industry doing well within Japan but not having much of a presence outside Japan. The manufacturing industry, okay, fine, they say yes, of course they've been doing well. Most of the animation and other things which are coming out of Japan, which are initially can be ascribed to them, saying that these are Japanese products like anime and other things, are again dominated on a world stage by organizations like, say, Pixar or Nintendo, or some of those other animation studios which are there, but they are unfortunately again not Japanese. So, having said this, we will share some lateral thinking tools coming back to the PPT. We would also look at the mind maps. We might look at 6 thinking hats. I don't necessarily recommend this, because whether it is me or it is any other facilitator who has not been trained on 6 thinking hats should not be attempting to do this. I've seen certain people who've attended a session conducted by De Bono's organization, and then they've gone ahead and tried to conduct this. It doesn't necessarily work very well. It's a complicated kind of a thing, but we'll touch upon that. Let's see. Then, of course, dream the future and SWOT analysis. SWOT being the very most basic form of analysis which I am suggesting to you. There are other forms of SWOT which I myself take up in workshops, and some of those we can look at. Now, this is something which I will totally avoid. I will not get into any kind of analysis of the brain and suggest to you exercises which will make a certain part of your brain maybe more active or more creative or something of that sort. I would not necessarily get into that, and neither am I qualified to do that. And further, there's a lot of latest research which is coming out, which is not necessarily supporting what has happened earlier. So again, this becomes a gray area for us. Okay, now getting started. Let's say you were to connect all of these dots without lifting the pen with 4 lines. How would you do that? Now, this is animated, so I'll keep on doing this for a bit, so that, and this is a very common brain teaser. I picked it up from a Google book which is freely available. I quote it on my website. You can see that in the recommended reads. So okay, fine. So this is what you would be expected to do. So if you've done this, you will see that you've gone ahead and justified whatever was required of you. You're using 4 lines only. Without lifting the pen, you've connected all the dots, but you've not necessarily done it in the manner as somebody would do it, like most of us would do it. I did it that way for a number of times. I couldn't even imagine that this would be the solution, but when I saw it, I was quite amazed with it. So this is being creative. This is being not innovative, of course, but being creative and probably thinking on a lateral line. Sometimes people will say thinking laterally would mean thinking on a tangent, but that is not necessarily it. You are continuing with the current thought process, but then you are going ahead and implementing it in a different manner. So that is what is expected of you. Okay. Now here I'm showing you few mind maps. Some of these were created now, like this one was created in an actual workshop, and the one seen earlier, I've just kind of googled it and put the image there. This one is also okay. This I've just googled it and put an image there of actually RSA video, and I would like to stop the presentation here and stress upon this. Now RSA animate, or any kind of animation that is being done for any kind of learning that is happening, or any training, or any workshops that you are, or any videos you're shooting, is amazingly creative, right? But whether that gets you any kind of commercial success or not, we really can't say, and because of which certain folks would get into such things, others will not. Others would just probably just go ahead and draw something with their hand and try and convey their ideas. Okay, now what I'm requesting you to do is create a mind map of your own, if you can, if you have the time to do that. Otherwise, let me just show you a few of these examples so that you can see them and you can understand what is it that I want to convey. Okay, let me go to this other folder which I have and show you some of the mind maps. Now these are mind maps which I've created myself, so not necessarily created by participants in a workshop. Okay, the very basic creativity to innovation mind map that I have. Now this was created by me keeping in mind that someday I would utilize this for a workshop, a live workshop, and this would help me tell the story which I am trying to do, otherwise which becomes a little boring. Let's say disruptive thinking is what you really want to focus upon. Now why would you want to focus upon that? Now why should I suggest something which is a model which you're not aware of, and I'm just saying okay fine, go ahead and do this? Probably what will happen is your eyes will just glaze and you will say okay fine, he's talking about something extremely technical, this is not for us. But it's extremely simple. I want to break this down for you and make it extremely simple, so please bear with me. Now disruptive thinking is not about breaking an object into its bits and pieces and thinking about it. No, that is not necessarily it. Disruptive thinking is thinking in this manner: what is it that is a challenge for us or for our organization or definitely for the customers, and how can we deliver this challenge, how can we deliver the solution to this challenge in a much better way, in a much cheaper way, in a way which does not necessarily involve too much of complicated delivery processes or things to that effect. That is very basic disruptive thinking. Now let's say I am a small kirana shop owner, a corner kirana shop owner. In my own locality, I am the only kirana shop. How could I grow my business? I can grow my business by thinking of starting delivery at people's houses, but that will not be disruptive enough. That most kirana shop owners will do. So what I would love to do is I would come up with some kind of solution which will say this will save me money, this will save me time, and this will add more value to the customer, right? So let's look at some of these examples that I'm showing you over here. It says products, and then there are certain services also which I'm trying to show, kind of simulate over here. Now the products I'm showing you are the Apple computer, of course, the iPad, the CAT scan machine, or some kind of scanning medical machine. A lot of innovative things happening with GE over there. And services, of course, it looks like somebody is picking up a call or calling somewhere, and of course there is some kind of sales happening. So either it's outbound marketing or contact center wherein you are getting some inbound calls. Whichever way, you can be innovative in all these situations. Now let's pick up one of these situations as an example and just build upon our case and see how we can do this.